very extensive case. It involves multiple victims, so the amount of evidence collection will be voluminous and it will be extensive because the investigation will be extensive.
Bryan Kohberger's defense team is bombarded with thousands of pieces of evidence just 6 weeks before he's due back in court for a preliminary hearing. It's the first time the accused murderer will appear in court since early January.
Count 2 alleges that you committed the felony offense of murder in the first degree. It alleges that the defendant, Bryan C. Kohberger, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Madison Mogen, a human being, by stabbing Madison Mogen, from which she died.
What's up, guys? How we doing? Happy Wednesday. True Crime King back. So, apparently, Anne Taylor and Bryan Kohberger's defense lawyers are getting flooded with evidence now. Now that we're, what, six or so weeks out from the trial, we're getting close. And it looks like also Kohberger is getting lots of love letters. He's probably not used to this, right? I'm sure he's never gotten a love letter in his life. I would almost bet on it, right? So let's see what Law and Crime's got. Here we go.
On November 13th of last year, 4 University of Idaho students were found stabbed to death in their off-campus home. For weeks, police in Moscow, Idaho kept tight-lipped about the case, releasing few details with the exception of a vehicle of interest, a white Hyundai Elantra.
Yep, that's Kohberger's. And I bet either Tyler Feller or Drunk Turkey will probably do a reaction on this too, because, it looks like they're doing the same kind of model I'm doing now, right? But it's okay, because we're going to the top. We're going to pass by all of them. Just wait.
We are confident that the occupant or occupants of that vehicle have information that's critical to this investigation.
Officials later connected that vehicle to Kohberger, who at the time of the murders was studying at Washington State University, only about 10 minutes from the University of Idaho.
Yeah, they got Kohberger on video like 4, 5, 6 times driving past the 1122 King Roadhouse, and just more evidence is going to keep coming in the closer we get to trial. They're probably saving the best evidence, to give it to their lawyers last. That's probably, you know what I mean?
Finds probable cause, you would be bound over to district court. And at that time, you can enter a plea of not guilty, and you can have a jury trial set within 6 months of your appearance in district court.
Kohberger was arrested in late December at his parents' home in Pennsylvania.
And I haven't heard anybody say that they still think Kohberger is totally innocent in a while. In the comments, a couple months ago, there was a bunch of you, saying that you think he's innocent, you think he didn't do it, all this stuff. I haven't seen that in a while. So if you still do think he's innocent, let me know in the comments so I know that you guys are still out there. Because as of now, I think everybody that I've seen and talked to is starting to say that they think he's guilty. So let me know what you guys think now, as of now, in the comments. You know where I stand. I've said this for many months now, that I think he's totally guilty.
Investigators used trash recovered from his family home to link Kohberger to DNA recovered on a knife sheath found at the crime scene. At a press conference post-arrest, Pennsylvania authorities touched on what evidence was recovered at his parents' home.
You have the right to the presumption of innocence.
Like, real quick, how is he going to get past the DNA, and how is he going to explain that knife sheath, right? I mean, put that in the comments, too. How is he going to get past that? Just that one piece of evidence. I would like somebody maybe that's smarter than me to explain that to me in the comments. How do you think he's going to get off this and get past that knife sheath with his DNA on it?
The state bears the burden to prove that you are guilty of this offense.
After a court appearance in Monroe County, Pennsylvania in early January, Kohberger was extradited back to Idaho. Since then, he's been held in the Latah County, Idaho jail, about 1 mile from the crime scene. His defense now receiving a plethora of evidence from the prosecution.
Plethora. I like that. I like that word. It's, not many people use that.
Ahead of his coming court date.
Not only will they have to investigate the totality of the crime and provide that information, but they will also have to investigate each victim individually, along with each defendant, along with everyone that they interviewed. So everything has to be compacted into a case, but it is a lot of evidence. And 10,000 is actually a lot, but not that much.
What? 10,000 is actually a lot, but not that much? What does she mean by that? I don't, it's a weird statement, right? But, yeah. And along with the knife sheath, that's just one piece. Like I said yesterday in my video, once you follow just all the pieces of this case and you put them all together, and especially if you've been covering this since the beginning, I mean, really, there isn't even another alternative presented. I haven't seen one other plausible alternative to Kohberger that makes any kind of sense, or that has even been presented by anybody, right? It's all about Kohberger, right?
Law enforcement instructor Sonny Slaughter tells Law and Crime Network the amount of evidence Kohberger's defense recently received may seem like a lot, but it's relatively normal. After multiple motions by the defense, the prosecution handed over 10,000 pages of reports and other written material, more than 10,000 photographs, 9,200 tips, and 51 terabytes of audio and video.
Okay, you see what I'm saying? So they just turned all that over. So the cops knew all this information this whole time, right? And now they give it all over to the defense. And now they have to somehow go through all of that 10,000 pages, however many terabytes of data, all the cell phone record, and they somehow have to prove that Kohberger didn't do this, right? Well, good luck, Miss Anne Taylor. You wanted this case so badly, right? So you're gonna earn your pay on this one.
When you think about the evidence, so they're looking at the crime scene and they have all of the photos from the crime scene. So in the crime scene tech is taking a lot of photos and then cataloging all of that evidence. And then they're having to go back through. There's a huge digital footprint.
I don't know. They got this guy on the screen, but someone else is talking. That's not me. That's Law and Crime fucking up their video.
That was used
there
in this
she
case.
is.
So they have to go and categorize and review every piece of the digital footprint that they gathered from Bryan and from each victim and from people that they interviewed and from all of the cameras. And there are multiple states and law enforcement.
Look at those eyes. Anne's telling him something probably that he don't like, right? And he's like, I'm fucked. I'm gonna be here for the rest of my life. I'm not as smart as I thought I was. I'm a clown. That's what he's thinking right there. You know, I can read his mind. I'm a psychic. Ah, man.
Agencies, so all of that information is necessary.
Kohberger's defense specifically narrowed in on information from his arrest in Pennsylvania, requesting body and dash camera video.
They are looking to see, or according to what they're stating, there is something in the body cam footage and the dash cam footage where he may have been taken into the car and he was talking or they were talking, and that would be rolling information that they want to look at. So apparently they've heard something, or Bryan has indicated himself that something was said during that incident, which requires them to really take a look at it.
But
I'm still waiting for Bryan Kohberger and his defense to present this evidence that Kohberger apparently said in the beginning that he had evidence that he was gonna be exonerated, right? Well, then where is it, right? I mean, if Kohberger said that, right, you would think by now we would know what he was talking about. If it was anything, you know, that really was, if he really was innocent, right? I mean, we haven't heard anything, right? Because guess what? He doesn't have anything. He's guilty as sin. I mean, it's just that's how I feel. It's just, and the closer this gets to trial, I mean, the more of a slam dunk it keeps looking like. I mean, it just keeps looking worse and worse for Kohberger. To be honest with you, you know, I don't really care what anybody else says. That's just how it looks. Kohberger does not look good, and it's I'm gonna say a 99.9% chance he's done, and that's it. Throw in the towel.
according to newly released court documents, there may not be any Pennsylvania body or dash cam recordings at all. The documents read in part, quote, "The state has disclosed all items it is aware of relating to the search and arrest of Bryan Kohberger in Pennsylvania. The state is unaware of any body cam and dash cam footage beyond what has been disclosed."
That's weird. I mean, they should have body cam footage of the whole search of his house, and they should have body cam and dash cam footage of every car that was at the search. I mean, that's ridiculous. This is the most high-profile case of any of these cops' lives, and you know, that doesn't make any sense if they don't have every second of that search documented and on tape.
Even still, Slaughter says information from Kohberger's Pennsylvania arrest should be important to his defense team.
And each state and each jurisdiction is going to look different, so you need to know what those laws look like to ensure that law enforcement follow the proper procedure. And then there was evidence that they collected at the scene along with the investigation on the family members and the neighbor. So any camera footage, any pictures that they were.
Real quick, if anybody, I always keep seeing this guy. He's got this white uniform on. Does that mean he's with the courts and like a bailiff or something? And these guys are just regular officers? If someone knows the answer to that, please let me know. I would like to know that. Just why he's got this white and these two have the blue. Or is this the boss? I mean...
Were taken That's really going to be crucial. And because it's in multiple jurisdictions, they really need to look at the evidence.
After
Look at that beak on Kohberger. That's a beak.
Kohberger's arrest, Pennsylvania authorities said they will cooperate with Idaho investigators.
I mean, I don't feel bad making fun of Kohberger. I think he killed 4 people, at least. So, you know, don't say anything in the comments about that.
The intent to commit the felony crime of murder in violation of Idaho Code 18-1401 and 1403. The maximum penalty for that offense, if you plead guilty or are found guilty, is not less than 1 year in prison, no more than 10 years in prison, and or a $50,000 fine or both. Do you understand?
Yes.
Count 2 alleges that you committed the felony offense of murder in the first degree. It alleges that the...
According to Slaughter, that means we could see Pennsylvania authorities testify at Kohberger's preliminary hearing next month or eventual trial.
I would expect that to happen because they are the arresting team executing a separate search warrant than what happened at the actual murder scene. So I would...
Oh, and real quick, Paulie, I haven't forgot about you, Emma, the Emma Bailey. I'm getting to it. Don't worry. So shout out Paulie. I always listen to my members, and Paulie's a great member. So it's coming.
Suspect that the defense would call those individuals and would question their records, their training records, what they did, how they did it, whether they followed proper procedure. And you're looking at, on the defense side, at the smallest change in normal processes.
Slaughter also expects Kohberger's defense team to do their due diligence in investigating first responders.
What the defense would want to look at is the police records, the training records of the individuals that might be called to the stand to...
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that the defense could possibly do is try and discredit some of these, officers that did the searches, or, kind of like what the Dream Team did with O.J. Simpson, right? How they discredited Mark Furman, right? And how they made it into like a race kind of thing. But here, there's no way they could use any kind of race thing. And I'm sure if the Moscow Police Department was smart, they wouldn't have had any officers that had any kind of blemishes on their record. Go do the search of the house or anything like that. You would want your best officers on this case. It's, like I said, the biggest case of their lives. So don't fuck it up, right? Put the best people in there.
Determine whether they had proper training, how long their training was. They want to look at their records to see, if they've had anything in the past that might eliminate them from being called to testify, what that might look like, and how recent is their training? What are they doing? Did they have the right training to execute a search warrant? How long were they a part of the team?
Yeah, I agree with all that, but, they brought in the FBI. I mean, they brought in all the top dogs for this one. So, me personally, I don't have any doubt that this search was done correctly. I don't doubt that, the technicians did their job right with the DNA. So, I think it's a slam dunk. I'm gonna take a guess already right now, and I bet the jury takes less than 2 days to deliberate. Less than 2 days. It's May 17th, 2023. So we'll see if I'm right. less than 2 days to deliberate. But that's the end of the video. It's over 20 minutes, and you know, I don't like going over 20 minutes. So, True Crime King, we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm out.